Hard to check the audio mouse, and the mic is not even on. Second, see how that goes. Okay, audio is in good order. Stream seems to be going okay on the quality. Yeah, should be fine. Okay, let me just switch over my TV, and then we'll be good to get started for our Tuesday MSQ stream. Would be great if this would work first try. It's looking like it's not coming. Oh, one sec, travelers. You're about to lose game audio for just a second here. For some reason, my Elgato I have to turn it off, turn it back on. Plug this. Okay. Just make sure it is good now. Seems to be getting audio through my headset. Seems like it's fine. Maybe not. Hang on. There we go. Okay. Alright, travelers. I am Ursa the Literary Bear. After a brief, very brief technical difficulty, we are ready to continue our Tuesday MSQ stream. So, Tuesdays, we know what they're all about. Tuesday and Thursday are our days to progress the MSQ, Mesqua, as it were. Today we're starting into patch 2.3, Defenders of Eorzea. Thumbnail probably give you some indication of that, but let's get started. Our friends, the isle itself, everyone and everything. No, it avails us not to speculate. Oriange will send word if there are any further developments. Until such time as he does, we must remain firmly focused on that which is within our power to change. With that in mind, I would speak of a different matter, one closer to home. It concerns the etheric fluctuations which we had previously attributed to good King Mubalmog the 12th. That the king is no more is a blessing for which we have you to thank. Yet all is not well in the 12's wood. Our latest readings reveal an ongoing etheric disturbance of considerable magnitude. They may even suggest the presence of a primal. Needless to say, the mere possibility wants immediate investigation, and I would have you... Asilia, I do not wish to interrupt, but we have a problem. What manner of problem? A band of refugees hailing from Uldar. This time our come to Revenant's Toll seeking asylum. It would seem that they expect us to afford them the same treatment we gave the Domans. At present they are in the 7th heaven, awaiting a formal response. I see. Mayhap this was to be expected. I shall meet with them at once. Asilia, you know full well we haven't the resources to accommodate many more people. Consider what will happen if you do this. Word will spread and more will follow. Your opinion is duly noted, but I will hear their suit. Ursa, I should be grateful for your presence at this meeting. Interesting. I don't remember this. This has been so long, but yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the Alamegan refugees are over here like, hey, how about us, though? I mean, presumably it's Alamegan refugees. We don't actually know for certain. But that seems reasonable to expect. There it is. I apologize for keeping you waiting. My name is Minfilia, and I lead the Scions of the 7th Dawn. Shall be praised, it is you. We're ready and willing to work, same as the Domans. Just give us a task and we'll see it done. Pray calm yourself. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I know not of your situation. Beg your pardon, antecedent. It ain't going... I ain't so good with words. We've been living off the scraps of Ul'dah for years now, trying to piece together a life to replace the one what got took. They say there's work, but there's not for an honest man. Not as won't sell his soul under sooner than his palms any road. The flames do what they can for us, of course, but it ain't near enough. And it's only getting worse. When the calamity brought us to our knees, those rich bastards in the city didn't help us. They climbed on our backs. I don't pretend to be clever, but even I can see what's coming. I knew we had to run, the only question was where. And then it came to me, Revenant's Toll. I mean, you took them foreigners in, didn't you? So surely you'd do the same for us. I fear the situation is rather complicated. While it is true that we accepted the Domin's petition for aid, that decision was the product of extraordinary circumstances. I sympathize deeply with your plight, but pray understand that it is not the possible for an organization of our means to aid all who have been affected by the calamity. And so it is with great regret that I must deny your request. Oh, this is heartbreaking. But we've got nowhere else to go. You're turning your backs on us. If I might have a word. Fataru, is Artemis? Ill tidings from Ul'dah, my lady. Alphino has been wounded. What, how? Is it serious? Cannot say for certain, but I fear it might be. According to the flames, the refugees started a riot. They went wild, apparently lashing out at any and everyone. That can't be right. Why would they? They must have been provoked. The demonstration was meant to be peaceful. 7 hells, now the Blades have an excuse. They'll round us up and kill anyone who tried to resist. Antecedent, please, if you won't help us build a new life, at least help us keep the ones we've got. My lady. We are not ones to stand idly by and watch other innocents suffer. However, until we know more about the circumstances surrounding this riot, I am not certain what aid, if any, we can provide. If the authorities determine that the refugees attacked without provocation, then those responsible will have to answer for their actions. How can you be so blind? Find Alphino quickly. If he is in danger or worse, I would have none other by his side. Thank you. Pray do not concern yourself with the matter we were discussing earlier. Ida and Papalima will see to it. Alphino is being treated at the Hourglass. Hurry, Ursa. Oh, this is a heartbreaking. Let me talk to him. Don't believe what they say. I know these people. They wouldn't take up arms to defend themselves. Only to defend themselves. If this were a riot, I swear to you they didn't start it. And the thing is, I actually believe it. It's a difficult... I mean, you can get into a lot of geopolitical statements with this, and I am nowhere near well-versed enough to have super well-educated or informative opinions on the matter. But I do know that it is entirely possible for somebody to have a really bad situation that other people who are wealthy exploit, right? And in this case, I'm sure that's exactly what happened. That it probably, when we last left off, when we were previously on Ursa the Literary Bear, when we finished 2.2 through the Maelstrom, we saw that flash forward to, what's his name? To Leggy. And we know he's got some plots, so this might be part of that. We'll see. He did seem awful happy about the Domans.
Come, you must have gathered by now that Tataru is given to exaggeration. As you can see, I am quite well. Ul'dah, on the other hand, is not. This riot was anything but an isolated incident. There is a restlessness in the air. Tensions long simmering are at last threatening to boil over. Ul'dah is a nation infamous for the great disparity between the wealthy and the poor. The majority of the populace accepts this state of affairs because they believe that every man bears responsibility for his own lot in life. To an Ul'dan, money is the foremost, and some would say the only measure of a man's worth. Small wonder that the wealthiest wield the greatest influence. So where do the refugees fit into this social hierarchy? What place is there for those who fled Alamigo and the destruction of the Calamity? Plainly, there is none. They have no wealth, no power, and no worth. To the Ul'Dan way of thinking, they may as well not exist. Choosing to ignore their existence, however, is patently not an option. General Rauban and the Sultana understand this, which is why they ordered the Immortal Flames to provide the refugees aid and succor. Yet none would dispute that the expenses incurred by this policy grow by the day, with no end in sight. This has prompted more and more Ul'Dans to question their obligation to aid these worthless wanderers. While more and more refugees have come to resent their treatment at the hands of the sneering citizenry. The manner of Lord Lolorito's refusal to grant the Dolmens asylum bespoke a disdain for all refugees, an attitude shared by the rest of the monetarists. And you may be sure they make no effort to conceal their opinions. It was only a matter of time before the refugees united in protest, nor is it any surprise that some among them would ultimately resort to violence. That the Immortal Flames should choose this of all occasions to engage in joint training exercises with the other Grand Companies. By the time they return, the situation may well have deteriorated beyond mending.
Okay. So yeah, the timing of that seems extremely suspect. Like somebody's pulling the strings here. As I told you before, it was all but inevitable that an incident of this kind would eventually occur. There we go. Given the rising tensions within the Sultanate. Nevertheless, I have reason to believe that this particular riot may not have been begun spontaneously. Have I piqued your curiosity? Good. You will accompany me to the Hall of the Flame. I would hear what General Reborn has to say upon the matter. I was gonna say, I walked right past it, different quest. Now is not a good time, Ursa. My hands are full dealing with the refugees. Precisely the matter we wish to discuss, General. Alpha, no. Back on your feet already. You may credit my swift recovery to your Chiraguins. I never know how to say that damn word. My memories of the riot are still somewhat muddled. I trust you managed to regain control of the situation? Not entirely. We secured the city soon enough, but not before the unrest had spread to the surrounding territories. Pockets of resistance remain throughout Denver. We have sent what forces we can spare to root out the last of the belligerents. The progress is slow. They are damnably elusive. I can well imagine. Given the majority of the refugees live outside the walls, it stands to reason that they would know the lay of the land. What I do not understand is how they came to be so well prepared. Before my little accident, I observed several of the refugees armed, and not with butcher knives or pitchforks, but with martial weaponry. I need hardly add that such equipment is costly. None can deny that the tensions between Ul'Dan citizenry and the refugee population have increased since the Dolmens were turned away. But would that motivate a starving man to purchase arms in lieu of food? I think not. And what of those who do not have a single guild to spend? Who could not survive without the aid provided by the Immortal Flames? Surely they would sooner sell a weapon than bring it to bear against their benefactors. Come to that point. Very well. My point, General, is that the powder keg of discontent was not set alight by chance. These events were deliberately set in motion, and now orders must be restored. That is my first duty. Till it is done, any investigation can wait. I do not have time to discuss this. My scouts will be returning anon. The general is no fool. He keeps his own counsel in the good cause. Were he to claim, without necessary proof, that these riots were instigated by outside forces, the monitors would accuse him of attempting to shirk responsibility. After all, he and the Sultana have been most outspoken proponents of refugee aid. Regardless, they will face harsh criticism in the days ahead. Our allies may stumble upon the truth in time, but I have far more faith in your abilities, Ursa. Therefore, I propose we conduct our own investigation, independent of the authorities. To that end, I would have you make inquiries in the settlements suspected of harboring belligerents. Commander Swift will know which they are. He may balk at the request for such information, but I've no doubt that you can persuade him with your silver tongue. I, meanwhile, shall seek answers in my own way, after which we can regroup and share our findings. Well then, shall we? Little Alamigo, and honestly, that one Gridanian settlement, but they're not there. Looks like you have something to say, Ursa, do you? What you ask for is no simple favor. Were such information to fall into the wrong hands, the lives of countless soldiers would be at risk. Even so, there is wisdom in your words. An individual may be better suited to the task than a regiment. Very well. The Blastblades have reported suspicious activity in the vicinity of Lost Hope. It may be unrelated to the recent events, but we doubt it. I suggest you begin by speaking to the Blades posted there. Goodbye! Go towards the left. Okay. What brings you here, adventurer? A search for refugees? Well, then you come to the right place. Oh, you mean those refugees? Oh no, you won't find them here. Most of the people of Lost Hope have come to accept their situation, content to pass their days in peace and quiet. Outsiders have trouble understanding that, like that merchant who passed through recently. Gregarious fellow, but awfully opinionated. Can't say I was sad to see him go. Friend of the Sultanate, are we? I take it this means someone has read my report. The refugees who left with the merchant have yet to return. I am increasingly concerned that Zazawaka's suspicions were correct. You haven't the foggiest idea what I'm talking about, do you? Never mind. Speak with Zazawaka. He will explain everything. Ah, don't hurt me. I'm not one of them. Wait, I know your face. Are you not the man from the Church of St. Adam and Ladama? 1,000 pardons, my friend. I mistook you for one of those thugs who've been tormenting us. If Leofric bids you speak with me, then I'd, take it you've agreed to help? Well be praised for that, because we haven't a moment to waste. Everyone knows the flames are on the march. The others have fallen under the fanatic spell, but not I. Promises of revolution and retribution, holding the ruling class to account and taking that which is owed? Huh, a childish fantasy. I did everything I could to dissuade the others from leaving, but few would heed my words. Now that one of our idealists has returned, however, the madness of the merchant's plan is plain for all to see. Look behind yonder tent and you will understand why. Even now he babbles incoherently, so traumatized by the bloodshed he witnessed. Try as I might, I can make little sense of his words beyond the fact that he was not alone in surviving. Yet I've no doubt that the merchants will lead the remainder to their doom. I beg of you, find them before he does. What's going on back here? I feel like this is some sort of drug den. I don't know what's going on over here. It's interesting. Well, what are you doing? Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Don't draw. Why didn't you run away with me? We could have escaped together. Then you'd be here with me. You'd be here to soothe me. Why did you have to stay and leave me alone? I bet you're really sad. Who are you? What do you want? Aye, it's true. I follow the merchant. May the gods strike me down for my folly. What they will not give, you must take, he said. When we asked how, he revealed a cache of weapons brought and implored us to seize control of our fates. Thought about running then and there, but the others were so excited. He split us into 2 groups, sent us off on our own. But when the flames found us, we didn't know what to do. Our leader tried to parley with theirs, but they started arguing and then fighting. Then everyone was fighting, flames were shouting to give no quarter, and... oh gods, the other group. They're still out there. If we don't stop them, they'll be massacred like mine was. The other refugees are hiding in the caves south of Lost Hope. But to approach them would be fruitless. They would sooner call us agents of the Sultanate and try to kill us than listen to reason. While the twins might even deign to do the deed themselves. Pox on the bloody sellswords. They were supposed to train us to fight, but the ones he sent with us vanished during the struggle. Oh, if only we had never listened to that merchant's ridiculous claims. He said our cause was righteous, that the gods would never suffer us to be defeated. Though if they were to be forced to confront reality, that's it. Challenge the twins to combat and show my brethren that their strongest warriors are no match for one man. Mayhap then they will agree to lay down their arms and renounce this plot. Yeah, fuck it, I'll do it. So I will say this is quite sad. So basically these refugees are essentially being strong-armed, I suppose, or at least, you know, seduced into acts of, like, essentially what amounts to really banditry. 7 hells, they found us. Everyone grab your gear and make for the rendezvous points. So what's your game, is it? Sorry to disappoint you, lad, but we're more than willing to kill ye ourselves. Oh, you don't have to do that, sir. I feel bad about this one. I mean, y'all are gonna die, like, tragically, but I feel bad about it. Gonna sting, bud. Sorry. It didn't need to happen. Beat him like it was nothing. Thor almighty, what are we gonna do now? Surrender would be great. There was no reason for all you guys to die. And this is the hard thing, because, like, what do you do? Like, they're so trapped. Like, they feel like they don't have any choice. They have no recourse, essentially. They're being utilized for various political ends. They are, when they're not just pressed down right into essentially what amounts to slavery, or honestly sex trade, they just don't have a whole lot of options, and it's kind of hard to fault them for trying to do what they can. You've returned. Did you find my brethren? What are the twins? What happened? I see. You had no choice. Better that a handful of them take a beating from you than the lot get butchered by the flames. Tell me, what did the merchant have to say when it was over? I don't think he was there. But where else could he be? Unless he went to Stone's Throw to recruit others. The merchant wished to approach the refugees in Stone's Throw, but waiting until the flames withdrew their forces from the vicinity. Now that they have, there's nothing to stop him from continuing his work. How many more must perish in the pursuit of this futile cause? How much more suffering must he endure before it ends? Find him, convince him to cease his mad quest. It will surely lead us to ruin. Okay. Well, geez, travelers. Have you seen my parents? Oh, I was already sad. Why you gotta bring like a crying, presumably orphan child into this? They told me to stay here with the others. They said they'd be back soon, but it's been days. They left with the man from Ul'dah. The man said they were going to change everything. Make it so we could live inside the walls with everyone else. I liked it when he said that. Didn't like it when he talked about making the rich people pay. Everyone looked so angry, and I got scared. Say, mister, are you looking for someone? You mean the man who left with my parents? But I don't know where he... Wait, look, over there. I think that's him. Well now, so the gullible fool should be my next victim. Oh, please. Tell me what you're selling. He's getting away. Go get him, mister. How does he recognize me? I don't recognize him. Was he one of Unk's people? Unk's is the guy from the Ifrit quest line, but he got tempered, so it's definitely not him. You again. Why are you pursuing me? Sedition? Treason? Revolution? That's preposterous. Who has filled your head with lies? Refugees? The self-same refugees that terrorize the streets of Ul'dah? Huh. You have no evidence to prove your accusations. None. No, I'm not accompanying you to the Hall of Flames. You have no right to detain me. Motherfucker, I got everyone. What do you mean you have no right to detain me? This is Eorzea. Could just kill you right now. There's nothing to, like, who's gonna stop me? But for the sake of argument, let's say I did do the things you claim. Surely you don't think I give a Kieran's ass about politics. It was business, only business. Oh, that makes it better. We both know that I'm not the one you want. However, if you agree to protect me, I swear I shall tell you everything. Yeah, we can make some more oh. I'm just so nonchalant about it. What's all this commotion? 7 hells. Tell the others to spread out and search the area. The killer may still be close. That is craziness. Okay, we got here. Old adventure. I would know more about your relationship with the victim, as well as the events leading up to his death. This man was responsible for the recent riots. Mayhap we owe his murder a debt of gratitude. In any case, it is obvious that you are not the one whom we seek. You may carry out your own investigation, Scion. Yeah, I mean, I didn't shoot him with a giant longbow from standing right next to him. That's the thing I did not do, certainly. But I think it's entirely more likely that the person who did kill him is the one behind the actual thing. Because this guy was just like a puppet, right? He didn't strike me as the brains of the operation, if you know what I mean. Swift. One moment here. One moment, let travelers. Check something. 2.3. We're making great progress here. Progress. What's the news, Ursa? Where's the merchant? Murdered? Damn it all to the seventh hell. He was not simply murdered, Ursa, he was silenced. Too many knew his face, and when he was ready to divulge his secrets. Do not despair, though. We may be closer to identifying the true orchestrator of these riots than you realize. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed. Let me just start that whole thing over. The Flame General left word that you were to proceed to the Fragrant Chamber as soon as you are returned. He wishes to discuss your recent discoveries as well as the result of your own investigation. Master Alphino has already been informed that you should be waiting for you outside. Pray proceed to the Royal Promenade with all haste and speak with Bartholomew. Bartholomew. Oh, sorry, Travelers. While we're just walking through here, too, I should probably give you a quick update. I've been a bit neglectful. We only have our stats up to here, so obviously a little bit more reputation grind still in these two. Our classes, we did unlock Scholar, but I have yet to play it since then, to be honest. Monday's a rough day at work. You know, we did the Sunday bonus stream, unlocked the Scholar, but Mondays are my rough day, so I did not do a whole lot Monday. I don't think I logged in, to be honest. But we got a day in between these two. We'll probably do something there, too. We've been expecting you, sir. Please proceed inside. That's fast.
Commander Swift has kept us apprised of your recent activities. You've made great strides towards quelling the violence.
Despite our best efforts to determine what provoked this uprising, the truth continues to elude us. Have you uncovered aught which might shed some light on the mystery?
This information does not leave this room. The Syndicate's decision to reject the Doman refugees' appeal for asylum had lasting repercussions. A number of those displaced by the calamity claimed it was proof of a policy of discrimination. Together with a group of Alamegan refugees, they organized a series of demonstrations to protest against the Sultanate. Demonstrations which became heated, but did not descend into violence. Until a certain incident served as a call to arms.
A unit of brass blades sent to supervise a demonstration loosed arrows upon unarmed protesters. It was this atrocity which prompted the refugees to take up arms. I need not tell you what followed.
We assumed at first that the attack was born of a miscommunication. When emotions run high, they happen. But suspicions were raised regarding the unit's commanding officer, whom I ordered interrogated. Sure enough, our fears were soon confirmed. The dog confessed that a merchant had offered him coin to give the order. A merchant in the employ of Teleji Adeleji.
Teleji Adeleji? But he spoke in favor of the Doman's cause, and has ever seemed sympathetic towards the refugees' plight. Why would he do such a thing?
Know you of the Cartano Reclamation Bill? It is a proposal to annex the Cartano Flats so that refugees may establish permanent settlements.
When last I looked, that was disputed territory.
Aye. Some might even call it a battlefield. The destruction wrought by Bahamut was greatest at the Cartano Flats. That much is common knowledge. What is less well known is that his rampage laid bare ancient Alagon ruins, of which no record existed. There are certain differences of opinion as to how these ruins should be handled, which is why each nation maintains a military presence in the region to this day. Yet differ though we may, we are still allies. Therefore, in the interest of preserving the Eorzean alliance, we have reached an agreement. Any conflict which may arise during the course of military exercises in the region shall have no bearing on relations between our nations. In full knowledge of this delicate state of affairs, Teleji Adeleji proposed the Cartano Reclamation Bill. A shameless bloody ruse which stands to benefit him in but one conceivable way. If successful, he will gain control over the disputed territory under the guise of assisting in the resettlement effort. And you can be sure he'll build an orphanage next to every Allagan ruin.
The man would threaten the unity of the Eorzean alliance and risk countless lives for personal gain.
He walks a path all his own, independent of any faction and beholden to none of his fellows on the Syndicate.
By inciting the less fortunate to violence, he hopes to convince others that the Cartano Reclamation Bill is the only viable solution. His sympathy for the plight of the Domans was not but posturing to gain credibility with the refugees. Of that there can be no doubt.
Forgive me, but what could possibly motivate Teleji Adeleji to go to such lengths? What is so special about these ruins that he would risk his position on the Syndicate, and, most likely, charges of treason against the Sultanate?
Omega.
Pardon?
An Allagan monstrosity, not unlike the Ultima weapon. Mayhap larger, we know not. It has yet to be fully excavated. Allagan inscriptions indicate that it was created to fell Bahamut himself. If accurate, it might explain why Nail Van Darnus chose to bring the Red Moon down upon the Cartano Flats. Given the ends he went to ensure Eorzea's annihilation, destroying the one weapon which could stay the Elder Primal may well have seemed like good sense.
When first I bore witness to the power of the Ultima weapon, I doubted the evidence of my senses. And now you tell me there is another such weapon. One which could contend with Bahamut. Bahamut!
Aye, we were skeptical ourselves. Truth be told, until the Ultima weapon's existence came to light, we thought the inscription had been mistranslated.
At present, Omega is more akin to a fossil than a tool of war, having long since ceased to function. As such, its true potential cannot accurately be gauged. However, if someone were to restore it, as the Carlians did the Ultima weapon, I have little doubt that he would wield untold power.
Power enough to subjugate Uldar like as not, and the rest of Eorzea besides, which is doubtless why Teleji Adeleji yearns to have it.
That he should aspire to world domination. He who has ever walked 2 paces behind Lord Lolorito in matters of commerce.
'Tis in acknowledgement of his own limitations that he seeks this power. Woe betide us all should we allow him to have it.
Pray waste no time chasing rats. Only a fool would believe that secrets can be kept in Uldar.
It would seem the implications of the Sultanate's refugee problem are rather more far-reaching than we assumed.
Okay, so we learned a lot there. Turns out we were correct. We can usually trust Nanamo and Raban. They're fairly straightforward, so we know that probably that was accurate. So let's continue on. Yeah. Oh, it's not there yet. Just trying to pick a reward. I was like, alright, cool. Money, please. I should be glad to know the truth, and yet the thought of all this chaos was the product of one man's lust for power sickens me. How long do you think before they intend to hide the existence of Omega from the Scions? That they even felt the need to do so is most troubling. It would be in our best interest to learn more of the military activities in the disputed territories. Fortunately, you have already well positioned to do so. Lieutenant Bearsong. Pray keep us informed of any developments in Cartoneau. Begone, whelp. There's no place for children. Is that Ellie? I will fucking throw you in that fountain, sir. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not saying let her in. I'm just saying you could be a fucking dick about it, though. I was looking for you, mister. You said you were looking for the man who left with me parents. You know this girl. Ah, so he visited Stone's Throw as well. I see. Did you find the man? Were my parents with him? They were not, I'm afraid. However, I can think of several places they might be. If you like, we can go and look for them together. Really? You'll help me look, mister? Of course. But first I must needs finish speaking with my friend. He's telling me a secret, you see. No one else is allowed to listen. Mayhap you could wait for me at the pillars over there. Require but a moment. Okay, mister. I'll be waiting. Ah. I'll take it to the quicksand. Mayhap Amodi will know what to do. A legion of Garleans, an Aether Star Primal, even dealing with an Ascian would be preferable to this charade. I don't disagree, sir. Sometimes I fear Menphilia is too ambitious. We rush hither and yon in response to threats as they arise, without concern for the strain it places on our limited resources and ourselves. Mayhap the time has come for a change. So this is Menphilia. I know this is sudden, but I must ask you to return to Revenant's Toll with all due haste. The situation at Trollswood has taken a turn for the worst. I'll explain in detail when you arrive. Speaking of... The Twelveswood, Primal threat she spoke of before has been confirmed. I received no reports of Ixali activity, which leaves the Sylphs? Go, Ursa. You know as well as I that the appearance of a Primal takes precedence over all else. Oh, and when you arrive, do inform the antecedent that while I am grateful for her concern, she didn't fear for my safety. I am more than capable of protecting myself. But no, that's interesting, as Alphino and I actually agree on that one. Like, I'd much rather fight some obvious, like, monstrous entity than tell a little, like, child that is just done nothing, essentially, but exists in a world that has no interest in, like, helping her in any way. That her parents were likely manipulated by a man for money, and subsequently killed in a riot. So presumably that's what happened. It's very unlikely that anything else, like, happened as a result of that, so... Times it's just sad, travelers, and that's just the way it is. Yep. It is my relief. Who is this? Sorry. It is a relief to see that you are healthy and hale, Ursa. The latest news from Uldar was most disturbing. Clearly the only injury Alphino suffered was to his ego. Doubtless it will heal ere long. The other Scions will need to be present for this meeting. If you are ready to begin, I will summon them now. Isn't it absolutely, like, pretty straightforward? Primal now, go kill. I don't even need the entire, like, accompaniment. Thank you for responding to my call with such haste. Rest assured, I should not have summoned you. should not have summoned you here were it not urgent. To business, then. I have received some most disturbing news from the Order of the Twin Adder. They have reason to believe that the Sylphs may have called forth their revered guardian, the Primal Ramu. I'm sorry, may have. Then it is not certain. The Elder Seedseer informed us that the elementals themselves murmur of the Lord of Levin's return to the forest. The Sylphlings, however, display no signs of undue commotion. Forgive me, Antecedent, but I believe the fact that need not contradict the elemental's testimony. Unlike his more bellicose compeers, Garuda and so on, Ramu is reputed to act only in the defense of his children. I imagine he would soon make his presence known if there were any foolish enough to directly endanger the Sylphs or their territory. The abruptness of this development concerns me. Were we not keeping a close watch on the touched ones and their movements? The preparations for a summoning ritual were indeed underway, which would surely not have escaped your notice. Oh, it didn't. I was pretty sure it was going to happen, just not this soon. I beg your pardon. You foresaw this eventuality and did not prevent it? I told Papa Lemo. I suppose I could have reported things to Minfilia earlier, but there honestly wasn't much we could do except wait and see. You know how the Sylphs feel about people poking around in their territory. They already summoned Ramu once right after the calamity, but that was because the Garlean came trampling through the forest. And so, as long as Castramorian stands, the Sylphs cannot be blamed for wishing that their guardian deity on hand. In short, Eden and I are in agreement. The actions of the Forest Folk were inevitable and unavoidable. And I maintain the observation would have remained the best policy had it not been for the sudden influx of strangers in the Black Shroud. That, alas, we did not foresee. By all accounts, the recent violence in Uldar drove a number of refugees to seek safety under the concealing canopy of the trees. 'Tis like that the Sylphs perceived this panicked migration as yet another invasion, and quickened their efforts in summoning their god. I am put in mind of Titan and the Kobolds. Once again, it is the affairs of men which have paved the way for the Primal's coming. Indeed! One cannot help but wonder what manner of place Eorzea would be without the civilizing influence of mankind. Be that as it may, this regrettable development does afford us a unique opportunity. So though your dealings with the Sylphs of Little Solace, you once succeeded in preventing an untimely conflict with Gridania. I wonder might one who has treated with the Sylphs so fruitfully in the past not achieve similar success with their patron deity. If Ramu can be convinced of all intentions, it may be the first step to breaking the cycle of primal summoning. A fond of hope. Were such a thing possible, we would not have to be at war with the Beastmen since time immemorial. But maybe this time we can... Let us continue this discussion anon. We must needs first consult with the nation most affected by Ramu's presence. The Elder Seedseer has requested your personal involvement, Ursa. Pray report to Commander Helios at the Adder's Nest as soon as you are able. Steel yourself for the worst. While I hope that the peaceful resolution of this matter, experience suggests that the meeting with the Lord of Levin will prove less than amicable. In such an event, your fellow scions will of course lend what you would ever support you require. Okay, the primal plot thickens, travelers. Let's go in here. Ah, the Adder's Nest is over this way. We can pick up this too. Weekly should be different now. Yes. Okay. Lieutenant Basson, your arrival has been most anticipated. The appearance of a primal is ever a cause for alarm and unease. Though my men stand ready for any eventuality, I know of no one more qualified than you to snuff out this threat. Indeed, would have you do so without delay. The eldest seer, however, would speak with you first. She is of the opinion that your diplomatic, rather than martial skills, may better serve our cause. I will leave further explanation to our learned leader. Pray make your way to Navaga's altar. The conjurer in attendance will admit you to the lotus stand. Hope if I didn't walk right past them there, sorry, travelers. Oh, is already a self here.
Scions of the Seventh Dawn, on behalf of the people of Gridania, I bid you welcome. Your presence is of great comfort to us all in these days of uncertainty. I summoned you here to share tidings of a most urgent nature. But a short while ago, the great elemental spoke, and his voice was clarion in its intensity. Ramuh is returned unto the forest. Scarce had his words ceased to echo in mine ears when we were visited by an emissary from Little Solace. Our guest informs us that the sylphs too have sensed the presence of the Lord of Levin. Though his exact whereabouts remain unknown, we may safely assume that the primal was summoned within the heart of the Sylphlands. Unlike the other primals you have encountered, Lord Ramuh is no raging avatar of destruction. He is revered as much for his wisdom as his strength, serving as both arbiter and guardian to his children. Given that we and the Sylphs found a way to share the Twelves Wood, it is my hope that this sagely immortal will be amenable to reason, and that conflict may be avoided. Blessed as you are with the power of the Echo, you are one of the few among us who may commune with a primal without fear of influence. I would ask, therefore, that you represent us in this most delicate of negotiations. The Twelves Wood has suffered enough. Upon this, we and the Sylphs, and I would venture Lord Ramuh himself, are in perfect accord. Let us not endanger our shared home by engaging in unnecessary hostilities. Dear friend, I beseech you, safeguard the peace which exists between our peoples. You have my thanks. Pray make for Little Solace, then. A member of the Order of the Twin Adder awaits you there. He will advise you on how to find the Lord of Levin. An ill wind blows through the forest. Yet, it is not only the Twelves Wood that flinches at its coming. All the lands of Eorzea shiver in dread anticipation. Have care.
Okay. There's a lot going on here. I quite like Kane-san, though. She's very, like... Good is such a generic term, right? She's very reasonable and, like, relatable. In a way that Meryl Webb I never was with. Raban a little bit. But, yeah. friend. To pass on, I was told to expect you. I understand you go to treat the Primal Ramu himself. An unenviable task, but one with which I have no doubt you are well suited. I've been told that your fellow Scions are conducting an investigation in the area as we speak. That we might ascertain the location of where the Lord of Leven might be found. I would ask that you abide here until they return with their findings. It's probably that great big fucking lightning crystal. Bet you anything. Oh, wow. Wow, I like his design, actually. I was told that a messenger was to be sent if you fellow Scions finish their investigation. I do not imagine it will be much longer. This one returns with good tidings. Wise ones have finished searching and have wisely identified the precise location where the touched one summoned Lord Ramu. Your timing is impeccable, my fluttery friend. Might you be so kind as to escort this good man to his fellow Scions? It would be this one's pleasure, walking one. Please, please, come with this one. Okay. I think a lot of why people complain about the patch content is mitigated by the flight, to be honest. Because the flight just makes it so much easier to traverse. And that makes it less annoying whenever you have to do, like, unnecessary these types of quests. Wise ones have ventured deep, deep within the Sylphlands. These ones must proceed carefully and keep an eye out for touched ones. This one is most sorry, but this one can go no further. Draw too close to Lord Ramu, and this one may turn mean and nasty like touched ones. And this one must say farewell for now. Walking one will find wise ones not far from here to the south. Go in safety, walking one. So it's actually you. I am relieved. For a moment I thought we were dealing with another one of those confounded sylph tricksters. I swear with them wreaking havoc with their own skin-changing magics. It's a wonder I was able to finish taking my measurements. Yes, it was quite the ordeal. You should have seen the look on your Stolas face when the one impersonating you suddenly showed up. That's quite enough, Habalimo. My apologies, it's not like me to ramble so. At any rate, as I was saying, I have finished measuring etheric activity in the area, and I am pleased to say that I have reached an indisputable conclusion. To wit, that Ramu was called forth in the vicinity of the Sylph's Aetherites. Come, Mercer, the Lord of the Leven awaits. Yeah, that was fairly obvious. Great big old lightning stick, it's pretty much, you know, like his thing. What you got here? Yep. Creepy.
Tynora betrays thee, servant of hiding. Thou art the bringer of light, bane of Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, and Leviathan. I am Ramu,
guardian of the children of the forest. Thou tramplest upon sacred soil, bringer of light. By what right doth man intrude in this sanctuary of the sylphs? The Gridanians proffer peace? Their words are born of delusion, thine offer an insult. Thou speakest of harmony, yet carest not for my children's desires. They did but wish to dwell beneath these boughs in solitude. Yet even that was too much to ask of man. Thus did they turn to me for succor. The sentence I pronounce upon thy kind is just. Redanian or Garlean, it matters not. The good intent of one excuseth not the misdeeds of the other. Thy conflicts have brought naught but anguish and misery unto the forest. All blame doth lie with the darkness that resideth in the breast of man. Whence sprung this calamitous seed? In the beginning no such duality existed. Were light and dark given form when man was born? It would explain much. Not least why strife and sorrow follow ever in thy wake. Thou canst not deny the urgings of thine own nature. Knowing that thy mere presence here portendeth tragedy, wilt thou persist in this pretense of peacemaking? Thou bearest the crystal which I bestowed upon my wayward charges. That they should entrust so precious a gift to thee. Thou standest apart from thy kin. Thou art the bringer of light, aye. But there is something more in thee. Very well. I shall consider thy proposal, shouldst thou survive my trial. If thou wouldst champion the cause of harmony, I must have proof that thou art fit to play the role. Wither mine ire, and prove to me thereby that thou hast strength enough to stay the darkness which threateneth to consume thee. Yet if thou shouldst be found wanting, know that all men shall perish in the storm of my judgment. Come to me, bringer of light. I shall await thee on the field of battle.
Eorzea, it is rare indeed to find you so far from a tome.
The Lord of Levin himself. Never till this day had I looked upon his visage, save in painted renderings made faint by time. Ever shall this scene remain etched in my mind's eye. Beg pardon, my lady. I must beg thine aid on a point of research. If thou art resolved to face Lord Ramuh, I would ask thy leave to observe the event.
Okay, travelers. A lot going on there. Number one, that beard, though. Crazy beard. Let's see how long of a wait that's going to be as a DPS. Straight hard, yep. 10 minutes. It's not awful. Unfortunately, we can't yet queue as a scholar for that. We just haven't been neglecting my levels. So sorry. Excuse me, but someday soon we'll be able to. Meantime, we do still have this as an option, so let's try this out. Even longer on paperweight time. Fascinating. And what about as a tank? Give you guys the shortest queue time I can find. 6 minutes. There we go. I don't remember this fight, and I don't have, like, a crazy amount of anxiety, but, yeah. Prepared for a very embarrassing show of it. Okay, in the meantime, let's see if we can pass the time by doing a little bit of hunting log. Let's see. Anything in the shroud? I don't see it. North Shroud, okay. North Shroud Dryads. East Shroud. Box call. Oh, we're here. Let's see, that should be pretty close. It's literally right next to us. Down a little bit here. We're just gonna do this real quick while we're waiting. If I can get the Scholar up to level 50, I can start queuing with it instead of the White Mage, which I'd appreciate. Oh, Hellfire, just occurred to me. We're actually quite out-leveled by this guy. Let's get Apostrophe in here. I might need some backup. Okay. 1 out of 4. Rough grind on this one. Check the egg as well. Oh boy. Love a choco cure, please. Thank you, Apostrophe. I don't really have time. I just put a shield up because I'm like, I'm about to die. Alright, cool. So, North Shroud. So, this will serve 2 functions. Number 1, we get our ring progress good, but also just a little bit of level ups as well. Alright, Dryads. What is it right out here? In fact, there's a fate going on that we can actually do. Let's just make sure the correct minion's out. That'll be like 3 birds, 1 stone, because it's apparently also a thing right now. Minion. Now I'm working on this one. Almost on. Oh, if this procs the Plasmoids, I'm gonna have to run away. I was gonna say. The Plasmoids are way too high level for me to deal with. Right, let's see what he's hitting me at. Quite high. Ooh, this is not ideal. This is not ideal. Travelers, I did not need this Dryad in the mix. That was for company seals. Move over here. See, Dryad's fingers kind of in my periphery makes me a little nervous. Trying to dodge the other Dryad while I'm in here. Bit hairy here towards the end, Travis. I think we got this. We got 1 minute left. Should do it right here. Yes. Oh, come on. That was it? And it probably said, but I'm sure they reduced my my level based on... because, like, my level's too low for that fate. Like, yeah, we're not going to give you as much experience. It's just a hard-fought battle, though. Alright, so those are good. For A level here, let's see. Bloodshore. So go into the Bloodshore while we wait, travelers. said average wait time for this queue was 7 minutes. It's been a while. Unfortunately, I don't think you can queue this one with NPCs, so we'll pretty much just have the option of waiting in this queue or me bugging my wife to hop on. Kieran Gull Roaster, Grass Raptors, and Gigantoads. Those are on the other side. Calobri might be over here, though. I think they are. Calobri are over here. A lot over there in Raincatcher Gully. So I've got the Calobri and the Kieran. The Calobri and the Kieran, I think, are over here. It just says Bloodshore, which is not super helpful. So that's a wide variety of locations. Or a wide swath of locations, I guess I should say. So I could have sworn the Kieran were like right over here somewhere. Forgive me, I don't know my area around here so well as I thought I did, apparently. But we're just waiting on this queue anyway. Let's try doing the healer queue. One sec. Okay, travelers, I have stolen my wife's Switch with her permission. We are currently logging into her so we can take this queue a little quicker. Case, let's give ourselves a minute here to withdraw. I know that can't necessarily be the like solution to everything, but at least in some cases it can help me out. Appreciate it. Oops. Something else we can do if we're doing this anyway would be to go to grab a time to make sounds. Brave return to the waking suns. Okay, because I'm pretty sure when we beat Leviathan, I never picked up the, I never picked up the, like, Leviathan Extreme. I know I didn't do it on stream, and I'm like, this is not the kind of thing I would have done off stream, so let's go pick that up real quick. Waking sounds, yes. Quite excited for the progress, though, we'll say. We're getting really close to Heavensward. As soon as I kick open the gates to Ishgard, I'm going straight for Astro and Dark Knight. The Lord of the Well, slain at thy hand, was a deed both heroic and historic, tale to be told down the ages. I fear, however, that the terror of the Indigo Deep did slumber but briefly in the ethereal sea. The Maelstrom hath assured me that with unhappy certitude that Leviathan doth stir from the abyss once more. Should this indeed prove the case, then we face a most troubling and chilling predicament. Lord of the World is a voracious being, not less than a treasure trove of crystals would serve to lure the entity back to this plane of existence. 'Tis folly, then, to believe the sea-bound beastman could gather such a haul with such impossible alacrity. No, we must assume the Sahagin have adopted the disturbing new summoning ritual we observed amongst the other beast tribes. A threat of unprecedented magnitude now loometh over limbs of the Windsor. Take thee the swiftest road to Maelstrom Command, and offer thy stalwart services. Thy shining light needs illuminate the ocean's darkened swell. Okay. Travelers. Let's go ahead and invite my wife. Yep. And let's queue up this. It should not take long. I will say, comparing the Switch version to the PS5 version that I'm doing right now in my hand, it's quite difficult to tell the difference, if I'm being honest. Okay. Let's do this. Guys, let's have my wife do this. I don't know what any of her comments are, so I'm just going with it. I'm actually surprised that we haven't died yet. Okay. Really amazing music in general.
I have taken thy measure, bringer of light. And I judge thee a worthy champion. The task of excising the sin that hath taken root in man's heart is thine. Shrink not from employing thy strength in service to the forest and the wider realm beyond. Like hungering shadows do the enemies of harmony gather, and meekness will but feed them. If man is to be delivered from the dark, it shall be by thy guiding light alone. Stray not from the path, for if thou dost, thy people shall be truly lost.
Thou hast slain the Lord of Levin. A regrettable act, but a necessary one. In witnessing thy struggle, a truth hath been revealed unto me. If I mistake not, it may yet prove a chink in the eternal armor of the Ascians. But let us conclude our present business. I shall expound upon my findings at the Rising Stones anon.
Okay. Took care of that little problem. Sorry, that was a bit of a sloppy clear there. I'll probably just cut that one out, to be honest. It's not going to be a very exciting thing to witness. My wife is just now switching over to Switch. She's a keyboard and mouse player, and so her hotkeys are all kinds of messed up. And I'm like, I don't know what your rotation is, so I just kind of hit random buttons. Got the job done, but... Anyway. Within the bear song, you have returned. Dare I ask how Ramu received your visit? He challenged you to a test of arms. It is well then that you have some experience in such matters. People of both Gardania and Little Solace will be relieved to hear that the Lord of Levin has accepted you as the forest champion of peace. You have performed a monumental duty this day, Lieutenant Bearsong. The other Seer must be informed of your deeds at once. The other Seer will hear of your experiences firsthand. I pray you return to Gardania and make directly for the Lotus Stand. Conjure at Nafika's altar will be expecting you. Fare you well, Lieutenant Bearsong. Conjurers, there we go. Conjurers Guild. Oh, the gang's all here, goddamn.
You are returned to us, dear friend, and none the worse for bearing the heavy burden which I did press upon you. Most glad am I of this. I am informed that your efforts to negotiate a peace with Lord Ramu ended in conflict. Pray tell me, what befell? Ramu made trial of you? I fear there is truth to his claim. It is the darkness within us that attracts the darkness without. It cannot be denied that misfortune follows man. For evidence, one need only look to the conflict brewing in Cartano, or to the rising flood of refugees. Our shared struggle against the Empire should have served to seal our union. Yet the ties which bind the Alliance strain under the weight of gross self-interest. As the scars of the calamity begin to fade, so too does our sense of common purpose. Yet now is scarce the time to forget our shared responsibility. If this new-sprung realm is to survive beyond its infancy, it must needs be nurtured by all. Eorzea must be as one. Yet I fear that dream is still far off. On behalf of the people of Gridania and the elementals both, I thank you for all that you and your fellow scions have done. Full oft have I been compelled to look to you for aid of late, and offered all too little in return. As leader of this nation, I shall endeavor to prove a more worthy ally to your cause henceforth. Lord Ramu has departed, yet the keening of this ill wind grows no less insistent. Voices of the forest, pray speak and I shall listen. What unseen evil begets this unease in my heart?
Okay. Thus ends this daunting mission, eh, Ursa? I'd hoped Lord Ramu could be persuaded with words alone, but nonetheless I can admit that the adroitness with which you responded to the Primal's sudden challenge. And it seems that Orionje too was pleased with the outcome. What say you, Ursa? Shall we gather back at the Rising Stones and ponder the lessons of the day? We shall indeed, Papalimo. Papalimo. First, we're going to do the Leviathan Extreme, because then after that, I can pick up the Ramu Extreme and swing. Aft Castle. I like the Shaft Castle. So sorry. Yep. So the Scions. You are, as ever, welcome sight at the Maelstrom Command. Our worst fears are realized. The Primal Leviathan has returned to threaten our shores. Where is he? We did not think it possible for the Fishbacks to summon their rapacious god without a considerable longer period of preparation. But there can be no mistake. Prior to contacting Orionje, we received a report detailing the almost complete destruction of a merchant fleet upon the sea. Only one vessel managed to limp into port, bearing the decidedly unwelcome news of Leviathan's resurgence. Judging by the testimony given by the surviving crew members, the massive waves the entity leveled against the ship dwarfed anything we have ever seen the Primal command before. Should he unleash the tidal wave of similarly empowered proportions, Limsa would be scraped from this land and like a barnacle from a hull. It is with such dread imaginings in mind that I bid you sail forth to slay the Lord Levin of the world again. Lord of the world. Our strategy remains unchanged. The twin vessels, the Whirl Eater, is already being prepared under the command of Storm Marshal Slashersman. Make your way to Morby Docks once your preparations are complete. Seek out Sergeant Strilona, and she will see you safely aboard the ship. May the Navigator guide and protect you. Sea swallows all. Still the best saying, like, far and away, the coolest saying. Storm Sergeant Stradlina, at your service. The World Leader is loaded and ready, sir. I give the signal for the towing vessel to depart as soon as you're aboard. Leviathan is sighted some distance from the coast, so there should be more than enough time to build up a ramming speed. The entire crew is willing to lay down our lives to support to ensure you reach your target, sir. So you just concentrate on skewering that overgrown sea serpent. Take this out real quick. He's so fucking gigantic, too. That'll be somewhat more entertaining for you guys to watch. Alright, let's go. Apparently you can just survive that when you have enough HP. That's crazy. This is taking way longer than I expected, Travis. I'm so sorry. Okay, that was easily the longest we've done. Dun, 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 dun. Oof, and no whistle from that, which means I'm gonna have to do it again. That sucks. It is what it is. That one doesn't seem to have any more. I was kind of curious if that was going to continue on that like sort of subsequent Ascian storyline, which doesn't look like it did. A little disappointing. We'll make do with what we got here. Ah, the Rising Stones, which is different than the Waking Sands. Yes, yes, yes. Gonna take me a while to get used to that. Not complaining about it because it's significantly more convenient, but still. Bum, 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 bum. Welcome back, Ursa. What of your momentous encounter with Lord Ramu precedes you? I would fain share news of mine own, but Oriange discoveries must take precedence. Upon witnessing your defeat at Lord of the Leven, our loner companion was struck by the profound insight regarding the true nature of the Ascian's immortality. Let us assemble and discuss his observations together. That's interesting.
If everyone is ready, let us begin. Urianger, the floor is yours.
As all here assembled now know, in its final hours as our Order's headquarters, the Waking Sands did play host to a most unexpected visitor. I speak of the Ascian clad in white, Elidibus. Unwelcome though his presence was, his words that day did serve to confirm a truth long suspected, that the Ascians are eternal beings, to whom physical destruction is as a temporary inconvenience.
In the intervening time, Urianger and I have striven to discover a means by which the Ascians might more permanently be slain.
And 'tis my belief that we have found the thread that will allow us to unravel the twisted skein of their existence. In the moments prior to Leviathan's most recent manifestation, the Sahagin elder who summoned him was observed to undergo some manner of ascension. The etheric readings taken by Y'shtola at the time of this transfiguration have proven most enlightening.
The disruption to the flow of ether was sudden and dramatic. So tangible was the agitation, I scarce had need of my goggles.
The significance of Y'shtola's readings might better be understood in the context of mine own, taken at the instant of the Lord of Leven's demise. Unlike the Primal, the Sahagin was not subject to etheric dissipation.
Before discussing our new discoveries, it may benefit us all to recall what we know of etheric behavior. let us begin at what some might call the end. When we who dwell in the material realm die, our spirits dissolve into the flow of ether and are returned to the ethereal realm. In turn, the restless energy which suffuses that plane streams back into our world, giving rise to new life.
'Tis as the heavens did decree, the way of all mortal souls. Twixt this world and the next do the ethereal currents swirl, bearing the very essence of life. Thus doth the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth continue unabated.
Primals behave somewhat differently. In order to manifest and then maintain a physical presence in this realm, they must consume vast quantities of ether, most often in the form of crystals. Though they may seem to live, their flesh is but ether given shape. Thus, a defeated primal leaves behind no broken corpse. Rather, the essence of its form seeps back into the land whence it came, and the energy of its shattered spirit is called back to the ethereal realm.
And there it waiteth, till next the prayers of the faithful do draw it forth from the sea of ether, to take their offering of crystals and make for itself a new body.
Which brings us on to the third group, the so-called immortals. They exist in a manner all their own.
Quite. Even as the Sahagin Elder fell to the Admiral's musket shot, I witnessed the release of an ethereal cloud, which immediately took possession of a nearby minion.
A soul that dissipateth not upon the death of the flesh.
The secret of life everlasting, and in the claws of a Sahagin no less. But I wonder, what would happen to one of these obstinate spirits should there be no suitable host for it to claim?
If mortal death entails a return to the ethereal realm, it seems doubtful that the soul of an immortal would venture there.
Nay, it merely withdraweth a distance, unto the shore of the ethereal sea, perchance, but no further.
Yes, it exists in neither this realm nor the next, abiding instead in the space that lies between them. The Ascians took control of Thancred by means of a crystal of darkness, an artifact which, if our theories are correct, serves as a gateway to the place I have just described.
I was hoping people had forgotten about that.
I am sorry, my friend.
For a mercy, the weary road of our research hath brought us unto an answer.
The Sahagin ascended to an immortal state, but he did not possess a crystal of darkness through which to flee this realm. Thus was he consumed by Leviathan. If we could entrap the spirits of defeated Ascians in like manner, and thereby deny them resurrection...
There are so many people on the internet that would pay for her to do that to them. I'm so sorry I could
Therein
not say it.
lieth the path to victory. Thou art most perceptive, my lady. Only when we have trapped the bodiless soul within an ethereal prison can we hope to defeat its unnatural constancy. Thus might even an eternal paragon be consigned to oblivion.
These feats are, of course, far easier said than done. At present, we lack a viable means to entrap and extinguish an Ascian soul. Yet, I believe it to be possible. The pieces of the puzzle lie before us. We have but to put them together.
I will depart at once to convene with the sages of Sharlayan. Together shall we divine the steps by which our goals may be achieved.
I have the utmost faith in you, Archon.
Beg pardon, antecedent, but I would raise one final matter. Even now, a Sharlayan survey party seeketh to ascertain the fate of the students of Baldessian. Their findings shall soon be known to us. Though you harbor feelings of dread, I bid you surrender not to sorrow, but abide instead in hopeful prayer.
I shall, Archon. Thank you.
The Lord of the Levin has returned to the Aether, as was Leviathan before him. Ramuh's acquiescence was most intriguing. Inferno, Vortex, Crag, World, and Levin all have been humbled by the Bringer of Lights. The limitless potential of man, idle and servant, grows mightier by the day. Yet he prospers at great cost to his mistress, whose strength is all too finite. 7 times have the masses survived the rejoining. Their souls are grown weak and worn. Even as it innervates, the ardor empowers our master. All that remains is to nurture the strength of the gifted to forge the final key. That is a task to which we bend our every effort. Divine seeds will ever want to quicken in Eorzea's fertile soil. We need only lead men to the fields, and by their eager hands shall a new deity arise. That which was shattered shall be made anew. The one true God shall come again. Let's carry on here. Now that the matter of Ramuh has, for the present, been put to rest, there is something I would show you, Ursa. It's a letter of thanks, signed by the leaders of the Eorzean Alliance, acknowledging the Scion's tireless services to the realm. It mentions in particular the names of all those who defeated the Primals: Ifrit, Titan, Garuda, Good King Mongol XII, Leviathan, and now Ramuh. Needless to say, there is only one among our number to have faced them all. And though these words of gratitude were addressed to our order as a whole, I feel they were meant for you above all others. I too must offer you my heartfelt thanks for all that you have done. In the course of your duties, you have never once failed to answer my call to arms. You are a true hero, Ursa, and Eorzea is that much safer for your presence. Pray do not misunderstand me. I said safer, not safe. I know only too well that we can ill afford to lower our guard. The Ascians may be relied upon to sow chaos in the realm until such time as they are forced to stop. But even without their encouragement, you may be assured that man would foment strife on his own. And that is to say nothing of the beast tribes. Unless we learn to live in harmony, the primals too will return to plague us again and again and again. And yet despite all of this, your deeds serve to inspire the people, to give them hope for a better tomorrow, and there is no greater gift. That we have the courage to strive for what might otherwise seem an impossible peace, we owe in no small part to the dangers you faced on your behalf. The people you have won over to our cause in so doing. Our list of enemies has ever been long, but think of the allies with whom we have won, and we are now blessed. Of the Sylphs of Little Solace, who wish naught of conflict. Of Alizé, who strives to unearth the terrible secrets of the Calamity. And then there is Sid and the Fellowship of Noah, racing to unlock the mysteries of the ancient Allag, that we might be spared the horror of another Ultima weapon. course, when speaking of our greatest allies, we must not forget those closest to us, by which I mean our fellow scions. Thanks to their many and varied talents, our order is uniquely equipped to combat the far-reaching corruption of the Ascians. Combat it we shall. Your enthusiasm is truly heartwarming, antecedent. Given our embarrassing wealth of allies, I trust it would not inconvenience you unduly if I absent myself for a time. Alphino, I take it the troubles of Ul'dah no longer require your attention. There are yet some rumblings of discontent, but the air of simmering violence is largely dissipated. 'Tis to report such that I stand before you now. Glad to speak with you concerning a new organization we discussed. Oh, I have a message for you from L.A. You recall the refugee girl? The one whose parents were missing? They were found unharmed. She wished me to pass on to you her thanks. By Alphino, am I to understand that you made the effort to remember the poor girl's name? I look forward to reading all about her in your reports. I do hope you left nothing out. So you have been away from Remnant's Toll for some time now, I believe. Might I suggest that you put your affairs of the realm to one side for a moment and take the opportunity to acquaint yourself with the town? Which reminds me, one of the Doman children recently acquired just to your whereabouts. Yozim was his name. I believe he has some small matter with which he wishes to share with you. Why not oblige him with a visit? Look, it's Mr. Ursa. He's back from his adventures. We heard you were all fighting primals, and that they're some of the strongest enemies you could ever face. I wish I could have seen you in battle. Anyway, we all want to be heroes too, so we finally formed our very own Doman Adventurers Guild to protect all the Domans. Oh, do you think you could train us today, Mr. Ursa? Maybe you could show us how you fought the primals? What's all this commotion then? Mr. Boulder, Mr. Coltenant. That's an interesting name. Did you know that Master Ursa is back? Mr. Ursa. So it would seem. Welcome home, Ursa. My companion and I but recently became members of the Scions. I believe proper introductions have yet to be made. I am known as Hoary Boulder, and this bookish fellow is Coltenant. Though we remain largely unproven as adventurers, we have taken it upon ourselves to instruct the Doman younglings in the arts of combats. Like I told you, Mr. Boulder, we are not younglings anymore, we are adventurers. And we were just asking Mr. Ursa if he would give us some special training. I think we are ready to hunt monsters alongside him, don't you? Well, you've certainly been diligent in your drills, but I'm afraid that the fiends of Mordona are ever so slightly too dangerous for you. I have a counter-proposal. What if you were to cross swords with Ursa? Demonstration of skill at arms, if you will. Jorge, if I didn't know any better, I'd say you were merely seeking to test yourself against a legend. Well, mayhaps I am, but what matters the motive when the children stand to learn so much from the lesson? What say you, Ursa? Would you consent to spar with me? 2v1? Let's do it. Hooray, we're going to have a tournament. Come on, everyone, we must prepare our gear for the evening. Hey, trust me, buddy, it's not gonna last long. Do try not to disappoint them. Have faith, Coltenant. I shall summon every ounce of my strength to make this a worthy contest. The fields to the east of town should prove suitable for our purpose. I very much look forward to our bouts. Okay, sorry. Wife's made it back from work, so trying to wrap this here up. Holy boulder, whoops. Yep. So it's good of you to agree to this, Ursa. Trust you are ready to begin. Oh. It's like, what do you mean I'm not a disciple of whatever the hell? There we go. Very well. Let us not keep the younglings waiting any longer. Hordy, are you certain you wish to fight him alone? That is Ursa you face. What better way to test my mettle? Pray allow me to attempt the first round unaided. After all, 'twas this hero's legend that led me to join the Scions to begin with. Without Ursa to inspire my efforts, I would not be half the warrior I am today. Point is well made, but remember, this is for the children's sake as well as your own. Should it appear the contest will end too swiftly, I shall add my spells to your blade work. Hello, you haven't begun yet, have you? Oh, no. Ida, what the hell, who are all these people? When I heard you were having a sparring match, I told everyone I could find. Thought you could use a crowd to cheer you on. Yes, and there's still more to come. When I mentioned Ursa's name, the reaction was quite enthusiastic. Why, even my own popularity seems but a sickly shade in comparison. You'd best claim victory, Bringer of Light. Your burgeoning reputation is at stake. Well, our teacher won't be beaten so easily. He's a master swordsman. You can win, Mr. Boulder. We shall soon see. On your guard. Oh, the smile, though! Oh. That makes me like him quite a bit more, actually. That was a very nice smile. He's very embarrassing when he dies in, like, 3 hits. But, you know, the smile, he got a lot of credit. Oh, he's dead already. Okay. Have some time. I fucked up my order here. You're out. Oh, I think I just straight up killed him. Like, Hori's still standing, but Coltane or whatever, he's gone. You have bested me. I yield. Alright, all the Scions plus you versus me. What's incredible, he beat them both at the same time. I knew you couldn't lose, Ursa. None could defeat the Guardian of Eorzea. Now I see why they send you to deal with the primals. I have much work to do if I'm attempting the same. I thought that was another child, just a Lullafell in the front. This was cute. Impressive as always, Ursa. It's ever a pleasure to witness the spectacle of your martial prowess. Judging by the smiles on these many faces, they too appreciate the hard-won strength that keeps the perils of the realm at bay. Guardian of Eorzea. Yes, that is the most fitting title. Do you recall when we first met? It was at the memorial service of the Battle of Cartano. Technically, we first met on a cart, but your ass wasn't talking to me because I wasn't important yet. At the time, I was yet attempting to understand this land of Eorzea. I sought to grasp the reason why grandfather willingly sacrificed himself to protect it. I shall speak plainly. My initial impressions were less than favorable. Dire problems abounded, and yet the effort I saw expended toward their solution was haphazard and half-hearted. I thought Eorzeans a foolish and childish people. Considering the shambles their home was in, I would not have been surprised if some had chosen to swear allegiance to Gaius, and the order he proposed to enforce. The negate a single-minded military invasion precluded any such switching of royalties, of course. Were it not for the desire to continue grandfather's legacy, I would have abandoned this realm to its fate long ago. The threats were too many, the nations too self-involved and unstable. 'Twas you who convinced me the salvation of Eorzea was possible. 'Twas you who taught me through the countless acts of bravery that what my grandsire sought to preserve was not this land nor its history, nor any single nation. It was the people. These wonderful, oft infuriating, stubborn people that suffer blow after terrible blow, only to drag themselves back to their feet to face another day. Though he never put such feelings into words, I believe grandfather's admiration for this inextinguishable courage grew into a fervent wish. A wish to aid Eorzea and its inhabitants in charting a course for the future. A wish that has now become my own. I too will endeavor to take up the mantle of Guardian of Eorzea, champion these people who toil toward a better world. Our cause, however, is not a simple one. The troubles that plague us are one of the scale that cannot be solved by the scions of Seventh Dawn alone. Now, what is needed to tackle the root of the primal threats and effectively counter the schemes of the Ascians is a new, expanded organization that operates beyond the limitations of nations and borders. If you would aid me in building such an organization, pray let us continue the discussion back within the walls of the Rising Stones. It's a bad idea, Alphino. Bad idea. Whew. That was a fun little distraction there. Very cute. Thank you for coming, Ursa. The world shifts and alters, and we, my friend, must be one step ahead of the chaos. What I propose is the formation of a new organization, a group that shall pave the way for a truly united Eorzea. Pray forgive me if I tread over old ground, but I would first speak of the grand plan. Since the advent of the Seventh Astral Era, the leaders of the three nations have been deliberating over an accord that seeks to bring the disparate forces of Eorzea together into a single entity. A realm-wide grand company, if you will. The military might of such an institution would be drawn from every corner of the land and directed against threats that no one single nation could hope to overcome alone. Yet while the purpose of this hypothetical organization is undisputed, the logistics of its formation have been the source of endless debates. The longer those discussions continue, the more I sense the impetus toward unification draining away. Thus have I been campaigning for the creation of what might be considered a trial company. It would be on a much smaller scale than the one we hope to eventually achieve, but capable of the same manner of unrestricted operation according to the scions. 'Tis my hope that the successful utilization of such a force will lend momentum to the lagging deliberations. Also, being primarily a military outfit, I mean to assuage fears of its misuse by placing the fledgling organization under the authority of the antecedents. The scions work tirelessly to protect Eorzea and its people. But as you yourself have witnessed with the refugee revolt, there are limitations to what we can achieve. With this new company under the Scion's command, however, will be capable of responding to a wider range of difficulties without straining our resources or overtaxing your formidable talents. The goal of this proposed organization and those of the Scions are ultimately identical, a point conceded by all concerned. But before I can move forward with establishing this precursor to the true border-spanning Grand Company, it is yet necessary that I visit the three leaders and gain their official approval. Tiresome and time-consuming task, which is why I would ask that you accompany me on the journey and attend to the business of recruiting our inaugural members while I am otherwise engaged with bureaucratic formalities. Thank you. It is reassuring indeed to know that the Bringer of Light and his discerning eye will be selecting our future allies. Our first destination will be Limsa Lemensa. Let us rendezvous at the Bulwark Hall. Ooh. This quest is long, as I seem to recall. I'm quite tired, travelers, but I'm going to power through it for you guys. Let's see here. Yeah, this quest is over. This quite long. Whew. Ow. But you know what? We started at 2.3. We're finished at 2.3. God damn it. Who needs sleep? Certainly not me. Ah, there you are. I'm ready to ascend the bridge and speak with Admiral Blofuswin. While the Admiral and I are finalizing the promissory boundaries and signing parchments, I would have you begin the recruitment process in earnest. I have, of course, endeavored to spread word of our organization through various channels, but I believe a personal approach will reach many who may otherwise remain ignorant of the opportunity. As for the potential members, 'tis of no matter should they already be pledged to another institution, only that they are willing to lend their strength when the situation demands it. And you needn't range into the countryside. The upper decks alone are populated with sufficient candidates to suit our purpose. Once you are satisfied with your recruiting efforts, meet me at the airship ticket counter and we might prepare for the next leg of our journey. Whew. These guys are quite spread out too. Carvelian, really? An organization with the freedom to operate with territorial impunity. I must say, your proposal intrigues me. But the Krakens will know that there is time to act and time to watch. And I'm afraid this trial company of yours falls into the latter category. Yeah, Carvelian was never gonna join that. That's... no. He's got too many secrets for us, I'm afraid. Oop. Glad I caught that. Almost didn't because we have so much up there. Master Alpha knows no organization? Yes, I had heard the formation of this trial company was in the offing. It is with regret, however, that I must decline your invitation. As commander of the Yellow Jackets, protection of Limsa Lemensa must needs receive my full attention. That's fair. 'Tis fair, Commodore. Much. They're about to summon something. Aye, who the bloody hell do you think you're talking to, Drylander? I'm a pirate, not some sodding knight in shining plates. You're looking for self-righteous fob? Try knocking on the Dandy Carvelian's door. Already did, miss. Afraid he wasn't interested. Although that means she knows, I imagine, based on her context there, she probably knows who Carvelian is. Whew. Well, if it ain't Ursa, not forgotten adventurer brave enough or daft enough to seek the shortcut to Titan's bedchambers. Remember Aubrey Isle, don't you? Formerly of the Company of Heroes, 3 wristles of the Bronze Lake. Aye, it ain't often I drag me arse out of Limsa for a drink, but I'm right glad I did. How fare you these days? Looking to put together a new crew? Top-tier work? Ha! Sounds like a right lark, it does. Alrighty, lad, count me in. The heroes may have gone their separate ways, but I ain't ready to climb into my grave just yet. So we've interviewed 4, and so far we've gotten 1. Yep. Ooh, sorry, travelers. Trying to stay on point here. Doing that thing where I fall asleep standing up. Precursor to the United Eorzea Grand Company. I do admire the scope of your ambition. My responsibilities here at Noldic and Vermilia's keep me close to the forge. I have not the time to be traipsing hither and yon across the realm. Should you require my skills as an armorer, however, I might be willing to accept some special commissions. Okay. As I just mentioned, I was falling asleep while standing up as I run headlong into a railing. Don't worry, travelers. Getting there. Where's Avana? There he is. So recruiting went well, I trust. I'm curious to see how my proposal was received by the rough and ready folk of Limsa. Ah, a member of the legendary Company of Heroes indicated his interest. Astonishing. I knew enlisting your aid was the right choice. If you could boast the acquaintance of such a elusive character. I, too, was successful in my task. The Admiral consented to sign all the documents requiring her approval. I can only hope that my visit with the Elder Seedseer proceeds as smoothly. Pray continue on to Gridania at your own pace. I shall await your arrival at Nafika's altar. Whoop. I don't know. Go. Alright, let's talk to him real quick. My audience with the Elder Seedseer is due to commence momentarily. I'd be grateful if you would once more see to the task of recruitment here in Gridania. After you deem the well of candidates has run dry, let us rendezvous with the airship counter before we continue. Okay, Akalu Falls, Ikedos. Laurontis. Fuck, I really can't believe we actually asked him to join. It's crazy. This guy that fucked us over at Buscaroons. Oh gods, could it really be you? Why a fickle fortune must the first face I see upon my release be yours? Eh? Could it be that you don't remember me? It is I, Laurontis, the man with whom whose crimes you exposed. I was a whaler and a regular patron of Buscaroons. Of course you do. I was beginning to wonder if the gal had changed me more than I realized. Not that I have any particular wish to be recognized after my shameful conduct. The less said of my past, the better, I suppose. What of you, adventurer? What business brings you to this spot of Gridania? Recruiting, eh? And what is your policy on reformed convicts? As matter stands, the Woodwellers will have not more to do with me. This may be the second chance I was looking for. Revenant Stoll, you say? I shall leave at once. You shall not regret this. I promise you I am a changed man. I hope you sit on your spear and get tetanus, sir. I'm on my way. Okay. Isn't this the old man from the... Yeah, it is. My back is perfectly fine, I tell you. You'll have to tie me to my bed if you think you prevent me from... Well, mayhaps I will rest for just a short while. Grandfather, you must call it a day. Let us return to the guild and rest ere your tormented back give you up for good. Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Ursa. I'm just inside you. I'm so sorry, man. We were just... Oh, Ursa, isn't it? It's been some time since I passed across outside Copperbell Mines. Well, you were barely more than a novice adventurer then, but look how far you've come. Mother Meoni tells me 'twas you who felled the fearsome Black Wolf. And now you seek stout-hearted souls to fill the rank of a new order? Well, your cause is undoubtedly just. My old companion here would be more relieved to see me in good hands. Yes, I'll do it. This is the very first thing I've spent my entire adventuring career working towards. I shall join your company just as soon as I've seen Isildur safely home. Just the, yeah, I do remember her. This is an old man. You'd offer this old man a place in your company of champions. I'm both puzzled and honored by your invitation. Pray forgive me, young master, but I cannot accept. I have sworn to abide here, and whatever scant years remain to me, bear the responsibility for the evils my lady has wrought upon this land. Or, you could try to make good on her memory and rekindle that image by helping protect the innocent. Just saying. It's not often a guild officer such as myself gets recruited. This company of yours certainly sounds to have some promise, but it seems to appear less than focused. I must refuse your invitation until such time as your organization is more organized. That's fair. Right now we just sort of have a nebulous, like, for the people mantra, which is not exactly like a mission statement, let alone a core path to how to achieve said mission statement. What news, Ursa? For my part, the Elder Seeds here was most amenable to our requirements. A former woodwhaler and a seasoned adventurer. Our company will not lack for variety, that much is certain. An interesting harvest indeed. Shall we strike for Ul'dah whilst the iron is hot? Let us meet at the Royal Promenade and endeavor to... endeavor to conclude our remaining business. Our journey draws to a close. Oh, how I wish that was true. No. think it would be, yeah. Okay. Ul'dah, the Gilded City, where one's fortunes define one's worth. I'd hope some manner of fortune is with us, as the final leg provides as successful as the previous two. Might I suggest ascending to the lower level before beginning your recruitment efforts? I do not think the Sultana will take kindly to us poaching her personal guards. Let us meet back here at the promenade when our respective tasks are complete. Good hunting, Ursa. Donk. Turn your eyes away for 1 second, Travis. Thought you've been running into a wall. Okay. Oh, Yellow Moon? Really? I'm sorry, you wish to recruit me? Is this some sort of fashion theme manner, or propositioning a lady? Well, I'm afraid you're wasting your time. The city's already spoken for. Good day to you, sir. So she's a fashionista. She's got a whole fan club that she's mean to, and they love it. And her husband is one of the criers at the Gladiators Guild. One of the people who goes and, like, you know, she sort of sells the current agenda, basically. Oh, what a happy coincidence. Do you remember me, perchance? I am Orson of the Church of St. Lenadama. Thank you again for your timely rescue. And I must also thank you for preventing those fraudulent priests from preying on Drybone's less fortunate. Most upsetting business. Are you here with your companion Thancred, wasn't it? Ah, 'tis new companions you seek, then. Your proposed organization sounds a powerful force for good. My place is at the church with the children. Nevertheless, I wish you well in the undertaking. Wait, you're the man who came to Little Amigo looking for that masked devil. Who knows what might have happened if you hadn't? I'd probably be dead. A whole lot more of my friends besides, who were such fools. Anyway, the disaster really got me thinking about our homeland, about the outsider who saved us from ourselves. I realized how easily I'd been manipulated. I vowed to make myself a more worldly man, so here I am. A new company of champions. Did you say it will take me to all corners of the realm? That sounds exactly like the kind of opportunity I need. And don't worry, I'm not the same stripling you met in El Amigo. I prepared myself to fight the evil I now know is out there. Just giving all kinds of second chances out here, travelers. Little Moon's husband, or Yellow Moon's husband, is not one of these guys because he's a Lalafell, but he's dressed like that. Whew. A company that looks to cure the ills of the entire realm. Listen, friend, I could scarce bear the complaints of the next stall over, let alone the conundrums of our neighboring nations. That's fair. I'd be surprised what rumors drift down to Pearl Lane. I know this glorious new company of yours, and just how far I'd go to getting involved with it. Whispers on the streets say the organization is funded by corrupt coin, by syndicate money. We think you're recruiting for a just cause, and you're a bigger fool than I take you for. right past him. Maybe. Alright. How fared you, Ursa? What hidden gems of the streets of Ul'dah offer up to your unrelenting gaze? A single Alamigan youth. Well, you've certainly given us an admirable start, even if our ranks are somewhat thin. In these troubled years following the calamity, talk of Eorzea's salvation must seem akin to grasping at clouds. But there are those who have ever risen to the challenge, nonetheless. And the hope that inspires these people was born in no small part from the victories won from you and yours. Something like that. Thank you, Ursa. I will not squander this precious gift you have placed into my keeping. These recruits will become the foundation of a new beginning. And yes, we are free to begin. As you have no doubt surmised, the Sultana also graced my trial with her blessings. Our first wave of recruitment is over, documents signed, and the finances secured. There is naught to prevent me from taking the next step. You are concerned about the Syndicate's involvement, as was I. Thus was the origin of every coin of their contribution carefully scrutinized and reported. This organization will not be built upon corruption. Naturally, I'd prefer not to rely upon outside sources at all, but even my family's substantial coffers could not sustain a venture of this magnitude. And as for the rumors and doubts surrounding this enterprise, well, such things shall plague us until the company has had a chance to prove its worth. It will not be an easy process, but we will earn the people's trust one success at a time. Speaking of time, we should waste no more of it. Let us return to the Rising Stones and lay the first stone for a united Eorzea. Sailing? Sail.
Tell me, General, what think you of Alfino's bold endeavor?
I think it is more than bold, Your Grace. His organization would pave the way for a united Eorzea. Well do I understand his impatience, since facing the common threat of the Ultima weapon, our nations have seemed farther apart, not closer together. Considering the many problems we face, should we not be glad that someone else is taking the initiative?
We have all pledged our cooperation, yet the grumbling continues behind closed doors. Ul'dah is not alone in her duplicity. I myself have doubts as to the good this organization will achieve. With the inclusion of the finest soldiers of the 3 grand companies, it promises to be a fearsome military body. But whom will it serve? Even under the watchful gaze of the Scions, it is not unthinkable that such a force could perpetrate a great wrong. Does it not concern you that a significant proportion of its financial backing came from the coffers of the Syndicate? That those unprincipled worms might forge this extraordinary gathering of warriors into a private army?
I have trust in the Scions, Your Grace. They have spared us no end of trouble at the hands of the Primals. If they seek reinforcements, I deem it unwise to deny them. As for their finances, full many gave generously. And though our nobles proffered a sizable sum, their coin did not spill from the pockets of Lolorito and his cronies. And what of the presence of our stalwart adventurer friend in this endeavor? I doubt the Warrior of Light would betray our cause.
Yes, there is that, I suppose. Yet I have known people to change. Whether we will or no, the events of the age hurl us this way and that, like a dust devil skipping across the sands. cannot be done about Telechi?
I have explored all avenues available to us, Your Grace. But as Ul'Dan law now stands, we lack the evidence to convict him of any crime. To arrest him on spurious grounds would only play into his hands.
He has all but committed treason, and yet we can do nothing? Then what good our government? What worth the royal house? How deplorable this mockery of justice!
Have faith, Your Grace. It is not over.
And that right there is why we love the Sultana. She is easily the best leader. I mean, Raban, too. He's obviously the more militaristic side of that coin. But goddamn, if that wasn't a touching cutscene. I'm tearing up a little bit right there. She cares so much for her people. You gotta love it. Okay. Ooh. The voice actress, too. Fantastic job there. Goddamn. Okay. Oh, that's not a journey I wish to soon repeat. But I cannot pause to rest. The culmination of all of our effort is at hand. I must see to the preparations for the inaugural ceremony. Thank you for allowing me to monopolize your services, Ursa. Certainly, antecedent will be relieved to see you free for other duties. Greetings, Ursa. Alphinaud tells me all is in place to begin his trial company. The Scions shall certainly be grateful to have the support of such an organization. The inaugural ceremony is set to take place here at the Rising Stones. Tartaru is cooperating with Alphinaud to see that all is in readiness, so I'm afraid the recruits themselves have been left to their own devices for the time being. Quite a number of new faces have arrived in Remnant's told of late, and I wonder if Slapborn might not find himself overwhelmed. Would you speak with him and see if there is aught else he requires? Cancel. Cancel it. Okay. Slapborn. My friend. What can I do for you? Oh, for you, Ursa. I thought you'd had your hands full helping out with this new arm of the Scions. Ha! I barely noticed your recruits arrive. It's barely a trickle compared to the flood of treasure hunters we have pass through here every day. Well, I appreciate your offer to aid. 'Tis more your burden than it concerns me. I'm told this trial company will answer directly to the antecedent, so I trust that means less work for you in the long run. Slapborn, the shipment, we couldn't. Godswoman, what befell? We are bringing the shipments to Remnant's Toll, provisions earmarked for the frontier efforts. But just as soon as we crossed over to Mordona, we were set upon the brigands. I believe they may have been heretics. There were many, too many. We only escaped with our lives, abandoning the supplies. Pray forgive us. There's naught to forgive. Provisions can be replaced, but smart soldiers are hard to find. Take your rest, and I'll have someone along to tend to those wounds. What to do? Heretics are involved. There's likely to be more than a case of simple thievery. Ishgard will need to be informed. Whence did the supplies originate? Asphalt home. We collected the provisions from Camp Dragonhead proper. Understood. I shall see that they are praised in its developments. Sir, you are not on good terms with the Knights of House Forton. I will be sending them a missive immediately, of course, but I would also have you travel there and offer your considerable talents. Yes, I realize I contradict my earlier hopes to lighten your load, but I need someone who can help bring the incident to a satisfactory conclusion. Our favorable relations with Ishgard are far too important to risk half measures. Thank you for your understanding. I am certain Lord Harshfont will be glad of your assistance. Courtesy. Okay. Love Harshfont. Anytime I get a chance, I'm happy to go see him. Harshfont. It's snowing out here. Well, well, this is my fine friend Ursa Bearsong. Would you care for a plate of roasted conical? Some mulled wine? No? Ah, I see that you have come into my home merely to escape the biting cold. I was in fact on the verge of opening an urgent missive from Revenant's Toll, and I suspect the timing of your arrival is no coincidence. Sadly no, my friend. I'm just here for a visit today.
The incident with the new frontier hands? No, you need not elaborate. I have been following their progress with no small amount of interest. Brave men and women all. They do our nation a great service. The existence of a fortified outpost in Mordona will do much to dissuade the Empire from trespassing on Kurthus soil. Right glad am I that you have chosen to lend your support to this endeavor. Never let it be said that House Forton does not acknowledge the efforts of her allies, or her debts. 'Twas in the spirit of gratitude that I arranged for sundry supplies to be delivered to Revenant's Toll. That the shipment should chance to be waylaid by heretics is poor fortune indeed. Poor fortune, I say, yet not without precedent. If you would know the truth of it, these incorrigible villains grow more organized with each passing day. This new unity of purpose we attribute to their leader, the Lady Iceheart. But though I have devoted significant resources to the task of identifying this woman, we have yet to learn so much as her birth name. What we do know is that the heretics speak of Iceheart in reverent tones, and would gladly embrace death rather than betray her. Such loyalty is rare indeed, and I fear to imagine what so committed a collective might achieve. The brigands have not yet been so brazen as to risk direct confrontation here in Dragonhead. Some few of their number have, however, been sighted not far to the west of here, and with ever-increasing regularity. A visit to Whitebrim Front may bring you the answers you seek. Will you brave the snows, knowing what implacable foes may lie in wait? Halone's blessings be upon you! Though I take no pride in the admission, many of mine own countrymen are not so well suited as you adventurers to dealing with such foes. Were they dragons, it might be otherwise. But truly, I could not wish for a finer ally. You have done much for my house in the past, and I have no doubt but that I shall have cause to celebrate your deeds again ere long. Should you learn aught of value, pray return to me forthwith. A warm hearth and a warmer welcome shall be waiting for you.
Okay. We are back in Ishgard. I actually forgot that this questline was going to take us here. So super excited to see this. I mean, obviously I knew that, you know, Ishgard was coming up. It's pretty obvious, you know, if anybody's been playing the game a while. What the second, you know, the first DLC is Heavensward, right? We know what it is, but I didn't remember this whole section with Iceheart until you started talking about the situation with the Heretics. It's like, oh yeah! So that's pretty exciting to see. Well mounted, huh? You're gonna be at the very tippy top of this damn tower, I bet. Save ourselves some time then. Let me just jump into the fire. Nope. Aha! I did save myself some time. Ursa, is all that you would ask of me? But I speak plainly, I am a man of action, and no need of honeyed words. On the trial of a band of thieving heretics, you say? By the Fury, but you do seem to be destined to cross paths with those villains. I must confess then, 'tis a sad truth that the wilds hereabouts have indeed grown thick with their number. They strike swiftly without warning, and are canny enough to evade most of our able trackers. But 'tis not merely their newfound strength that confounds us. The heretics themselves have somehow changed. I know not what manner of influence this Iceheart wields, but the men who we face have utterly lost grip of the righteous fervor. 'Tis an unsettling and unnatural zeal. Lost of the grip, sorry. Mayhaps you would care to question one of their recent victims? As fate would have it, your arrival came moments after a trader was waylaid on the road. A patrol found the unfortunate fellow lying senseless in the snow and carried him to our infirmary. Assuming he has regained the use of his faculties, the merchant might recall some small detail that could aid in your task. Probably in the infirmary, not on the other side of it, I bet. Started flying right to it. I was like, this doesn't seem right. This is the jail. Oh, I promise, travelers, I'll be more rested for the next stream. Yesterday was a really rough day. I'm still recovering. But we made a lot of really good progress today, and I do want to finish up this on the end cap here. Plus, I'm excited. I like this this section, so good to see it. Tell you what happened. Why, yes, of course. I am quite recovered enough for that. Anything to help catch those cowardly Blackhearts. Was traveling my usual route, wiper in front, when the sudden blow sent me reeling. Next thing I know, I was on the ground, and several heretics were rifling through my cargo. Arms, armor, crystals, they were taking everything. 'Twas then that one of them noticed my bleary gaze and stalked over to me, better to acquaint my head with his mace. Before darkness claimed me, however, I distinctly heard the words, "Return to Snowcloak." I dare say that is where they were hauling my goods, but shall not catch me rushing off in pursuit. They tell me 'twas a miracle I survived it all, and I'll not trust my thick skull to save me a second time. Find us some heretics, travelers. A lot of dead during nights over here. God, draw your weapon and foul. Wait, I recognize you, adventurer. You are come seeking heretics, and we share a common purpose. We were on patrol when we chanced to cross one of their raiding parties, pursued them here. By rights, we should have them cornered in this ravine, and yet they are gone, vanished like icy wraiths. She gets one line of dialogue. Just. Comes the woman atop the cliff. The ice heart herself comes to sneer at all folly. So where did she disappear? The heretics could not have discovered a passage through the frozen wall. Or must have. Some hidden tunnel that escaped our notice. We have not the men to risk further investigation. It would be best if we would return to Wiper in front and lay our suspicions before Lord Dromont. Oh. On to the top. Drop down, spin. Okay. Sir, it appears I owe you my thanks once again. The surviving knights spared no detail in their reports. The men you found out near Snowcloak were some of my finest, but they should be bested so handily. I fear I have woefully underestimated the threat that these heretics pose. While I understand you might balk at the notion, I must ask that you put aside your mission and consider the stolen provisions lost to us for now. It would be ill-advised to blunder unprepared into what may well be the very lair of our enemy. Pray return to Dragonhead and inform Lord Haurchefant of your discoveries. He will wish to plan contingencies of his own. As for Iceheart and her fanatics, the freezing heights of Snowcloak will not shield them from our justice for long. Sounds good, Dromont. Okay, the infirmary. Oh, nope, not the infirmary. Haurchefant.
Your return is most timely. Of their own accord, my thoughts had turned to your task and the progress thereof. I confess, my imaginings tended toward the grim and bloody. But you are here now, and I suspect such frivolous wonderings do little justice to the reality of your travails. Tell me, what did you learn of Iceheart? Indeed, and this transpired at Snowcloak? Of all the highlands, that towering wall has borne the worst of the region's brutal shift in climate. So inhospitable has Snowcloak become that we have still to survey the area in its entirety. Could its frozen heights conceal the heretics' hideaway? Mayhap a more robust reconnaissance effort is in order. Putting such considerations aside for the moment, we still know far too little of this Iceheart. That she is capable of commanding such a band of fanatics bespeaks natural authority, and no small measure of charisma. As much as I would like to fathom this mystery with you, the situation has grown beyond my personal purview. I am bound by duty to inform the Temple Knights and request that they bring this matter to its conclusion. Given the glowing reports the new commander has garnered thus far, I am certain that they can be relied upon to take appropriate action. Though Iceheart's true identity yet eludes us, you have provided us with a point from which to begin. Sometimes it takes but a single stone to prompt an avalanche. On the matter of the stolen provisions, I have already made arrangements for a second shipment to be sent to Revenant's Toll. I could not well allow such an honorable venture to be undermined by one miserable setback.
Okay. Love Haurchefant. Okay, so basically what he's saying is for right now, let's just go ahead and call it. That's Haurchefant. He's saying basically just go ahead and call it and we'll come back to it. I believe the next one is actually called Dreams of Ice, so it sounds like that's what we're going to be dealing with next, actually. Sir, it's good to see you return to the toll. I fared you in the frozen wastes of Corthus. As for Thompson sent a second shipment, I must send thanks to Lord Harshafon for his continued generosity. Yet even as our town grows in prosperity, I feel like we'll attract even ever greater numbers of those who would do us harm in the name of greed or power. All of us, Alphinaud's recruits included, must remain vigilant against such threats. While you're away in Quarthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed. Tartaro does seem yet somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head to the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand. Tartaro, once again, top 5 Lalafels. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they over there? Ooh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot of them into waste paper baskets. Ursa, you startled me. You wish to lend me a hand? Splendid. Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. Recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You want to report directly back to Alphinaud if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. What if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms? Well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. Oh, that's sort of... There's a whole side quest chain later. I love it. It's so cute. I love Tartaro. She's adorable. Yeah, top 5 Lalafels. Which is saying something, because I love Lalafels. I might make a video up to literally just top 5 Lalafels. This, bottom 5 Lalafels. Hate this little motherfucker. Those who believe this company will see no riches or short-sighted fools. They give of oneself as an investment of the future. Thus I sign my name up for the cause. Ooh, I could drop kick you into fucking dollar mood right now. A splendid idea. Once the organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Oh, you can already tell he's a dick. I hate him. Here? Where the fuck are you at? Over here? How the hell did you get up there? I was gonna fly, but how the hell did you get up there? Oh, that's convoluted as hell. Okay. Would be you. Well, the best to remember my fellows here, but I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, that's funny. Oh, new uniforms. Reminded my induction into the Wood Whalers. Just watch and guard, I guess? I don't know what the hell they're doing either. It's very funny, though. See, her I like. Isidore has last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss him, his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Oh, there, lad. Looking for me, was ye? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure as I'd have the heart amongst the bustle to hear it amongst the bustle. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry though, I'm sure I'll have to be fine after making a few adjustments. Yeah, Real's not the uniform type. You can already tell he's gonna like make some adjustments, like he said. The little amigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll. This town could be so alive in the midst of such desolation. Never worn off quite so voluminous. Well, I'll make sure I grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. You're new. It's a bass song. Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about the town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. It is an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. I don't actually remember recruiting her, but that's pretty cool. And of course, Hildebird. Don't believe we've met. I'm Elderbird. I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. Uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating common bond among what is essentially a band of strangers. You are fascinating looking, okay. Scarlet Guard marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of Limsa. Yet in truth I stand for the betterment of the realm, and the thought of this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Oh, it's a striking shade of blue. But alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Okay, travelers, that seems like it's probably pretty close to ending, I imagine. Be some cutscenes, maybe some popcorn. I'm excited for this. Hopefully voice cutscenes. Yes, I said. Oh, I thought you mentioned you were handing out the uniforms. I assume you met the rest of the recruits? Some few answered the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elites warriors can achieve. Then I mentioned that I thought of the name of the company. 'Tis my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Ursula. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement. Here we go.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
A rousing speech, Alphino. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur?
Please, Antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Okay. It's like that, you little companies getting all established.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening. So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12. I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Eorzea. My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder, have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidel's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
Okay, I believe that should be it, yeah. Oops, something's happening. Toshfon. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the same fate as the last. The winds are uncommon fierce this day. Check that out. Like the Pope is fucked up. Okay, so that is all of 2.3 cleared travelers. So next Thursday, actually, we're gonna do. I'm probably gonna break that one up into parts because if it's half as long as this, and I think it's longer, that's gonna be like a 3-hour stream. Well, it's actually not terrible. Probably a 4-hour stream. I'll see how I feel, but at the very least, we're gonna start it. But this has been an amazing journey. Just to recap, we, here, let's go to our journal. Or journal. Let's see. Where we left off here. But yeah, we went in and we fought the Lord of Leven. Did a lot of stuff with the, whatchamacallit? The refugees of Alamigo. It's quite heartbreaking, honestly. Had a truly, like, tear-jerking scene from Nanamo. Love that voice actress. Love that character. And then we founded the Crystal Braves with Alphino, who, you know, being a 12-year-old Ellison, is, I'm sure, very well-rounded in the art of diplomacy, and, you know, nothing could possibly go wrong. That's all I'm saying. Nothing could possibly go wrong, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this story as well as many others, and we hope to see you at the next Campfire Travel.